The urge to stay connected is unrelenting.
Hello.
Your voice travels as fast as your thoughts, thanks to these towers. But are they responsible for an impending, towering health epidemic? Is the electromagnetic radiation they are constantly emitting an unseen danger hanging over our heads?
So the new cell phone tower radiation norms have been put into place. But does this tower behind me poses serious health risk? We are not jumping to any conclusions, but today on the show, we are going to tell you some stories.
I was diagnosed with brain cancer.
She was diagnosed with leukemia.
And you can decide for yourself if the risk is for real.
Jaipur is known for its Havelis and palaces. But today, these mobile towers don't paint a very pretty picture of the pink city.
What is the general radiation level of a cell?
One family here believes they have paid a very heavy price for their need to stay connected. Meet the Kasliwals. Brothers Sudhir, Pramod and Sanjay Kasliwal own one of the most well-known jewellery businesses in the city. The family had no medical history, and then 9 years ago, these towers were installed outside their home and perhaps changed their lives forever.
In March last year, I was diagnosed with brain cancer. And then unfortunately, 2 months later, my brother was diagnosed of the same problem, and he's in a critical state. As all scientists have been saying that it's long-term exposure, which is what we have been going through, that we have 3 cases of tumors in the family. And, to call it coincidence, I think would be stupid.
The Kasliwal's dog died of brain tumor, and now another family member is suffering from breast cancer. Scientifically, it's tough to establish that the towers are responsible for these incidents.
After 3 cases of tumors in the family, my mother is suffering memory loss, and all the scientists were saying it even before the towers were installed. So what more proof do you think we need?
Studies done across the world show that people living within a 50 to 300 meter radius of cell phone towers are in a high radiation zone and are more prone to effects of electromagnetic radiation.
This radiation is not going to be safe for a long period of use or extreme use. Though it is in a small quantity or less frequency or a small frequency, a long exposure is definitely bad.
The towers outside the Kasliwal home are shut today, but that's hardly a consolation for Sudhir Kasliwal. He knows the damage has already been done.
My youngest brother was the most energetic, full of energy. And over the night, now you see him, you can't even see him. The kind of, it's impossible to see him now in this condition. And he's in his, the last stages of his life. I was with both my brothers all throughout. And I know how torturous it is.
Just a week after we shot with Sudhir Kasliwal, his youngest brother Pramod Kasliwal passed away. Was the radiation from the towers responsible for his death? Well, the question still remains unanswered.
A similar story is unraveling in Delhi. 35-year-old Rabbani has 2 daughters. She runs a library for kids and is a storyteller. Today, she's telling us the story of her elder daughter, 6-year-old Risa, who's suffering from leukemia.
For us, it was very, very sudden. It was a very sort of low-grade fever, and our doctor was very smart, and I don't know, maybe it was destiny. We found out, and it's been 6-7 months now. For us, it just came up in the blood test. It was, of course, you never expect to hear that result, but well, it just so happened that she has it.
Initially, Rabbani was perplexed She could not figure out why Risa had got leukemia.
I first thought it was me. I thought maybe it was some genetic thing that I passed on or my husband passed on. We then sort of sat down and thought about it. We have nobody who has cancer in our family.
And then she came across a newspaper article on the dangers posed by cell phone towers.
When I read that article and I went out and I saw, well, there wasn't just one on the main road, there was one right outside a house, which I don't know how I missed. I walked a little ahead and I saw two more. So we're really in a house that had 4 towers all around, the closest being literally like maybe 10 or 15 feet away. There is a very strong possibility that this could have led to her leukemia.
Could Risa's cancer be a result of radiation emitted from the cell phone towers? It's hard to pinpoint the exact cause, but it's a good idea to keep an eye out for early symptoms like sleep disruption, headaches, dizziness, fatigue, buzzing of the head and altered reflexes.
When we keep the phone next to the ear, so ear being the closest, so the radiation affects the ear, it will affect the skin, it will affect this side of the eye, and it also penetrates the brain. So brain starts getting heated up. It may lead to sleep disorder, lack of concentration, memory loss and other thing. But cell tower radiation is different. There you are exposed to the radiation 24 hours. So the whole body is absorbing that radiation. In fact, it creates multiple resonances inside the body. So depending upon which part of the body is getting exposed to the tower more, that particular body may develop severe health problem.
These were the symptoms which made the Kapoors of Delhi realize that living next to a tower may be dangerous.
The towers came up in 2005 and we were all quite unaware of what they were at that time. We thought they were just TV towers or something of that sort. Suddenly our back started going, our bones started paining, the servants started getting problems.
The family got hold of a radiation meter and that provided some clues. The yellow light on the meter was a clear signal that the radiation levels were very high in their home.
This is the room where my daughter was living during her pregnancy, and the baby born had a tumor in the eye. We didn't realize the cause of it till we came with this machine and we realized the radiation level is so high that it's red. Now of course we've asked them to move out of here, but it's a problem. Look at the level of the radiation in here. It's so high that it's red.
The main reason why EMRs are considered dangerous is probably because of the ease with which they can penetrate the human body. And they are said to be responsible for neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer and Parkinson's, immune system degradation, tinnitus and ear damage, irreversible infertility, effect on skin, DNA damage and increase in cancer risk. From Delhi to Mumbai, different cities but the same fear psychosis. 33-year-old Carmel Nair is 7 months pregnant. Her building is bang opposite a cluster of towers and she feels her unborn child is at risk.
When a pregnant woman is taking an X-ray shot, that itself is considered so harmful that doctors do not prescribe an X-ray to a pregnant woman. Now I have been living under this X-ray, under this radiation shots almost every day for 24/7, which is as good as having an X-ray shot taken every second. So how comfortable and how safe is it going to be for my child?
Carmela's fears are not unfounded. It's been 2 years that they've moved into this new house and the telltale signs are already there.
When we shifted here in approximately 3 to 4 months time, I started showing signs of severe hair fall, and I would wonder that, what has brought this change? Problems like severe headache, nausea, most importantly sleeplessness. So one fine day me and my husband, we discussed about it and he told me that he's suffering more or less the same problems. In fact, he